Bruins won last night. I just wanted to say that into the mic. Ready? Sure.
I'm ready, yes. Just waiting for the music to start here, and then it should be coming through. Oh, we're having an issue.
Please stand by just a moment. Hello and welcome to 2024 Crop Insurance Announcement. My name is Melissa and I will be your coordinator for today's event. Please note this conference is being recorded, and for the duration of the call, your lines will be in a listen-only mode. However, you will have the opportunity to ask questions at the end of the presentation. This can be done by pressing *1 on your telephone keypad to register your question. If you require assistance at any point, please press *0 and you will be connected to an operator. I'll now turn the call over to Samantha Edel. Please go ahead.
So, welcome to the 2024 Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Program announcement from the SCIC head office in Melville. Today, Saskatchewan Agriculture Minister David Marit will be providing details of the SCIC's crop insurance program for Saskatchewan producers. This will be followed by a question and answer period with the media. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the province of Saskatchewan is located on treaties 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10, and is the traditional territory of the Cree, Saulteaux, Assiniboine, Dene, and the homeland of the Métis. As we are here in Melville on Treaty 4 territory, I will first begin with acknowledging the land we are on. The Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Corporation acknowledges, respects, and has the honor of working on lands in Treaty 4 territory, a treaty that was first negotiated and entered in 1874 in Fort Capel. It is important to recognize the land on which we are gathered is the traditional and ancestral lands of the Cree, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and the homeland of the Métis peoples. We respect and honor the treaties that were made on all territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we are committed to move forward with partnership in Indigenous nations with the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. The 2024 Crop Insurance Program announcement is being live streamed to provide additional access to media and Saskatchewan producers for program details for the upcoming growing season. For media viewing the live stream, you can submit questions using email to media.inquiries@scic.ca or through the teleconference line, and those details were provided on the advisory issued on Wednesday. I will monitor the submitted questions. For media who are submitting questions, please indicate your name and media outlet, and I can relay the question to the minister once we get to the question and answer portion. I will take questions from media in room and on the phone line. Also, a news release is available on the Government of Saskatchewan's website and the Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Corporation's website. I will now turn it over to Saskatchewan's Agriculture Minister, David Marit.
Thank you so much, Samantha. And I'm really excited to be here at the Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Office here in Melville to announce the 2024 crop insurance program and some of the enhancements we're making. With me today is obviously Jeff Morrow, President and CEO of Saskatchewan Crop Insurance. And I do want to acknowledge some of the people in the room that are with us here today as well. Keith Day, President of Saskatchewan Cattlemen's Association, is here. Grant McClellan, the CEO of Saskatchewan Cattlemen's Association. Ray Ord, President of Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities, and Bill Probelski is the Vice President of the Agriculture Producers Association of Saskatchewan. And additionally, joining us on the call is Shay Anderson, I believe, is Financial Chair for Saskatchewan Stock Growers Saskatchewan Stock Growers Association is on the line, and Kevin Steinley is the Vice President of Saskatchewan Forage Council is also on the line. I've always appreciated the collaboration we've had, the government has had with the organizations that are obviously heavily involved in the industry, in the ag industry here in the province of Saskatchewan. Over the last 3 years, programs available through SCIC have provided over $6 billion of insurance claims and other program benefits directly to Saskatchewan producers. These programs have largely responded to weather-related production losses and ensure the continued success of Saskatchewan agriculture. In 2023, over 36 million acres in Saskatchewan were insured by Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Corporation, including approximately 86% of the seeded grains and oilseed acres here in the province. Our business risk management programs have continued to respond to support the province's farmers and ranchers. Approximately 14,200 yield loss claims were registered for the 2023 growing season. We recognize with the significant challenges from weather conditions in recent years, these programs are our producers' first line of defense. This year's enhancements build upon SCIC's existing suite of programs that have demonstrated success in providing support to producers impacted by drought conditions. The multi-peril crop insurance coverage, average coverage for 2024 is decreasing to $389 per acre, largely due to an average decrease in insured commodity prices. The average premium is correspondingly decreasing to $12.71 per acre. While these averages reflect the overall program, it is important to remind producers coverage and premium are individualized to their operation. Coverage reflects each producer's production records, and premium reflects each producer's claim history. A reminder, a producer's 2022 yields and claims will be used to calculate the 2024 coverage and premium. Okay. I want to reassure our producers, even when we face back-to-back difficult years, a combination of the crop insurance fund, government and private reinsurance is in place to ensure the program remains reliable. Crop insurance continues to be an actuarially sound program with premiums set to ensure the long-term sustainability of the program. In addition, premiums are cost shared 60% by federal and provincial governments and 40% by producers. Administration costs are fully funded by provincial and federal government dollars. Over the past few years, we have seen the challenges producers in Saskatchewan have faced. Through our work with industry groups, we recognize where programs continue to respond, as well as areas of opportunity. It is now more important than ever for farmers and ranchers to evaluate their current insurance and ensure they have the right coverage for their operation. Existing weather-based programs, including forage rainfall insurance, the corn rainfall insurance, and corn heat unit insurance. The corn heat unit insurance program insures against a shortage of heat units over the growing season. The rainfall insurance programs provide protection in the event seasonal precipitation is below the long-term average adjusted for extreme heat. In 2023, the forage rainfall insurance program demonstrated its responsiveness with over $60 million in claims were paid to producers experiencing below average rainfall. 90% of the acres insured through the program received a payment. New in 2024, I'm pleased to announce several new enhancements to the crop insurance weather-based programs. The mixed forage rainfall insurance program protects any forage feed crop not previously covered under SCIC's weather-based programs, including mixed forage and green feed and silage. With the intercrop rainfall insurance program, annual intercrops intended for harvest can now be insured for below average seasonal precipitation. Additionally, coverage is increasing for the 2024 forage rainfall insurance program. Coverage levels now better reflect the productivity capacity of the insured acres and increased transportation allowance, which recognizes the costs associated with replacing lost feed. Producers can select from 3 levels of coverage, low, medium, and high, offering flexible risk management and related premium cost options. An additional 38 weather stations have been added to supplement the existing network. All weather-based programs are enhanced by this increased weather station density province-wide. With 224 weather stations across the province, most land is located within 30 kilometers of at least one weather station. One weather station can be selected for each insured land location. This allows producers to insure each of their land locations with relevant coverage. Crop insurance continues to support the diverse needs of our grains and livestock operations. This program provides multi-peril organic forage and weather-based coverage. In addition, producers should consider ag stability, livestock price insurance, and wildlife damage compensation and prevention programs. I continue to work with the federal, provincial, and territorial agriculture ministers to bring Saskatchewan's voice to the table. We commit to improving the Ag Stability Program with the goal of simplifying the program and ensuring payments are made to producers when they are most crucial. In 2023, an enhancement was introduced to the program to raise the compensation rate from 70% to 80%. I'd obviously encourage producers to really consider ag stability as part of their full risk of suite of programs in 2024, while agri-stability applications for the 2023 program year are in progress. Producers can also enroll in ag-stability for 2024, and the deadline to enroll is April 30th, 2024. The Livestock Price Insurance Program enables producers to lock in a market price for their livestock. If the market drops, the producer would receive a claim. Calf policies are available to purchase from February to June. Fed and feeder policies are available year-round. It is important to stay in touch with the program to monitor daily coverage and premium tables. Producers who enroll in LPI have no obligation to purchase, but are set up to purchase a policy when it is right for their operation. There is also support available for Saskatchewan producers experiencing challenges caused by wildlife through the Wildlife Damage Compensation and Prevention Program. Saskatchewan producers are encouraged to take action against wildlife damage. There are options available for wildlife damage compensation and effective prevention strategies. Producers can receive funding for steps taken to prevent wildlife damage to feed supplies. Funding for fencing is available. In addition, all Saskatchewan producers may be eligible to file a claim for compensation for damage to crops and livestock caused by wildlife. The 2023 Canada-Saskatchewan Feed Program is an agri-recovery program responding to the extraordinary cost producers experienced in 2023 when sourcing feed for their livestock. I encourage all producers who have incurred extraordinary expenses to make the application. The program is accepting applications until March 15th. Producers already started to receive their crop insurance coverage information in the mail or on Crop Connect. We are committed to being as transparent as possible with our producers and remain dedicated to providing an exceptional customer experience. Late last week, SCIC has found an oversight in premiums for some customers in which their premium is higher than it should be in both the printed package and on Crop Connect. Since that time, SCIC has been working to resolve the issue. New printed packages will be mailed and updates made to Crop Connect within a week. I encourage producers to contact their local SCIC office and discuss their crop insurance need option programs. March 31st, 2024 is the deadline to apply, reinstate, or cancel your crop insurance contract. Producers must select insured crops, coverage levels, price options, and make additional changes at that time. So in conclusion, I want to just acknowledge that crop insurance is working diligently on the programs that we have offered. You can see we've made some enhancements to the program. I'm very confident that the programs that we provide to all producers in the province are very good insurance policies. I just want to wish everybody a very good growing season. It's good to see some snow. Hopefully see some more. I will now turn it back to Samantha for any questions. Thank you.
Great. So we'll begin the question and answer portion of the call today in room. If there's anyone who has questions in room, I'll invite you to come up to the microphones and ask your questions. Just make sure to speak into the microphone, taking yourself off mute. You'll see the red light turn on. Okay. So operator will have you take calls on the phone line here. So I just want to remind media to provide their name and outlet that they're also requesting the question from. And then also when you're asking the question, please speak into the microphone and take yourself off of, into the microphone.
Thank you. Our first question is from Will McLernan of CBC Saskatchewan. Please go ahead.
Hi there. I was just wondering, how do you anticipate this recent snowfall will impact the number of claims, the number of weather-related claims throughout the crop season? Yeah.
Well, I guess, I can only say that the snow is obviously very welcomed in many parts of the province. I know the southwest and down in my part of the world, we saw significant moisture. So it's obviously good to see. And I know talking to other folks around the province, there is some pretty good snowfall. So obviously, I'm very optimistic about the moisture conditions to start off the spring. Obviously, we don't end it in the spring. We obviously need June, July moisture as well. So we'll look forward to that. But it's good to see the snow, and obviously this will give us moisture to not only put the crop in the ground and start it, but also for the pastures as well for the grass to get a start.
And I just had a follow-up, if that's okay. Just compared to last year, like with the amount of moisture right now, do you anticipate there will be more insurance claims or less this summer? I'm not sure if you have that information right now.
No, we really wouldn't be able to answer that question now. Obviously, there's more moisture, or there's seeing more moisture in parts of the province than there was last year at this time. It'll all depend on spring rain, and we could even see more snow. We're just starting March, and we've seen some pretty good March snowstorms as well through the past years. So it'll all depend on what kind of moisture conditions we get between now and the growing season.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so we have a question that's come in through email. So Robert Arneson with the Western Producer is asking, how much will be paid to producers from multi-peril losses incurred in 2023? And is SCIC spending more money on reinsurance in 2024? If so, how much?
I will turn that over to the CEO and President of Crop Insurance, Jeff Morrow.
So our latest indemnity estimate, so if that's our claim payouts, is $1.85 billion. And the reinsurance is just being finalized, but the value or the premium there will be very comparable to in previous years.
Okay, and we have another question that has come through email. This is coming from the Leader Post. How big of a concern are the drought conditions we're seeing across the prairies? This is from Alec Solum with the Leader Post.
Thanks, Alec. Obviously, we're concerned about it, and it's as of last week, and seeing the snow that we just saw over the past few days is obviously going to help in a lot of parts of the province. We are seeing good snow cover in some parts of the province. The southwest obviously is one that, and the west side is one we're concerned about. But it's good to see some snow there, and I know I have talked to some producers that even last week, water did flow in some parts of the province. So the moisture is obviously welcome. We'll always take more, but we're hopeful that we're going to see significant moisture increases and improvements in both for cultivated land, for putting the crop in, and even more importantly for pastures and filling dugouts again.
Okay. And he also had a follow-up question. Can you elaborate on why, going into what is expected to be a difficult growing year, compensation rates are decreasing?
I'll let Jeff answer that because those are technical, but usually the dollars are set by the federal government as far as the crop values, and that would probably, obviously, that's why we're seeing a reduction in the price and coverage.
Yeah, I think you answered that well, Minister. We are seeing the commodity prices soften, which does impact the dollar coverage per acre that's available, and those prices are provided to SCIC by Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. They do a January price forecast for us to set those insurable values, and they do the same process for Manitoba and Alberta crop insurance agencies as well.
And there's a third question here. So you mentioned 14,200 claims in 2023, but what does that equate to in dollars paid out?
So that when we were final on all of those claims, our estimate is $1.85 billion.
Thank you. As a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question on the audio call today, you may press *1 on your telephone keypad to register your question. And we have a question from Kevin Hirsch with SCIC.ca. Please go ahead.
Hi guys, wondering about you delineated what the coverage per acre and the premium per acre were on average. What were the numbers for last year, and has the premium rate gone up or down?
Thanks, Kevin. I'll let Jeff answer that one on the tech side.
So last year at this time, Kevin, we were at about $440 an acre in coverage. So that's down to $389 on average this year. And last year the premium was in that $14.50 per acre range, and this year average is $12.71. And as far as the premium rates, there are increases to the premium rates to reflect the losses that we paid in 2022, and also to look at where the crop insurance fund is compared to our premium.
As a follow-up question, in past years, has there been much uptake in the contract price option and or the in-stream price option? And do you anticipate those options becoming more popular?
So it's, I don't have the exact numbers, Kevin, but it is certainly a minority of customers that have taken either the contract price option or the in-season price option. And I think what we've seen is it really depends on kind of what producers feel about the insured values that we come out with here in the last week or so, and what they think the market is going to do really does drive what producers opt to do in terms of tailoring that coverage when it comes to the price side of the business.
Thank you.
I see we have a follow-up question from the Western Producer. So Robert Arneson of the Western Producer, given the $1.85 billion in claims, what are the SCIC losses versus premiums in 2023?
So in 2023, $1.85 billion in claims, as I said, is our estimate, and our premium was just over $1.1 billion.
Great. I don't see any other calls with their hand raised to ask any questions. This will be a last call for any questions.
And we do have a couple more questions coming through on the audio line.
Okay. I'll just get you to hang tight on those, operator. We do have a call in room. My apologies, operator. You can let those questions come through first.
Thank you. Our next question is from Joanne Paulson with Saskatchewan. Please go ahead.
Hello, thank you very much. I was wondering if we could get a couple of specific premium rates by crop. Let's say wheat, canola, lentil, for example. Is that possible at this time?
It is, but I'll need a moment to find my table. So is it possible to go to the next question while I find the answers for you, Joanne?
Yes, thank you very much.
Operator, you can pull the next call through, and then we can come back to Joanne Paulson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from Ryan Young with Harvard Media. Please go ahead.
Thanks. I just had an open-ended question for either Minister Marit or Jeff Morrow. I was just kind of curious about the insured prices being available through Crop Connect. Just curious as to whether that's a relatively new thing that's been going on over the last few years or so before today's announcement.
No, obviously this year it's a little different. Usually we make the announcement earlier in the year. This year it's later, obviously, due to myself. I personally wasn't available to make the announcement a few weeks ago, so we wanted to make sure that the producers had the packages in time for them to make the decisions that they had to make, and today we're just making the announcement of some of the enhancements that we've made to crop insurance. So that's the difference.
Okay, so just as a follow-up, so the prices being available through Crop Connect, that was just a new thing for this year?
The prices are always available through Crop Connect. I think the difference, as the minister pointed out, is typically the program is announced and then we release, but we wanted to make sure that producers, we provided the information to producers about the same time we usually do. It's just that the formal announcement comes a little bit later.
Okay, that was all the questions I had. Thanks.
Thank you. As a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question on your audio line, you may press *1 on your telephone keypad to register your question. And Ms. Paulson, your line is open once again.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for those numbers.
I have a couple of examples for you, Joanne.
Thank you.
For hard red spring wheat, and these are averages, but for hard red spring wheat, average premium per acre for producers, $7.55 per acre for about $318 in coverage. Canola, $17.28 an acre for about $493 in coverage. And we'll look at large green lentils, $27 an acre premium for about $380 in coverage.
And are those how much are those up over last year?
So it depends on the crop. When we're looking at hard red spring wheat, they're down. You know, last year was $8.64. Canola was $18.79, and lentils is up a bit. Lentils is one of the commodities where the price actually increased. So when the price increases, that also increases the premium cost per acre.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. As we have no further questions on the phone line, I'd like to turn it back over to Samantha Edel.
I was just going to say this will be a final call out for media to ask any questions that they may have. And we do have a question from Neil Billinger with CJWW Radio. Any estimate on the number of producers impacted by the incorrect premium calculations for individual producers?
So we don't have the final numbers, Neil. What we do know is that it is a small minority of crops that are impacted. And we also know that in all cases, the premium cost will be lower when we do have the resolution.
There's a few more questions here. So what went into deciding on where to add the new weather stations? How was it determined? Could there be more weather stations in future years?
So when it come to deciding where the weather stations were, we looked at where there were maybe some gaps. So like the minister said in his remarks, now virtually all land is within 30 kilometers of at least one weather station. So if we identified gaps where there was land that was outside of that 30-kilometer radius, we closed those gaps to give producers more choice for selecting a weather station for their forage rainfall coverage, for example. And I'd say there's always an opportunity to do more. But I guess what we're looking at is we do want to continue to make sure our livestock programs are relevant. And we will continue to work with the stakeholders that we have around the table and others to make sure we are capitalizing on opportunities to make the programs as relevant as we can.
And he would also like to know the percentage of producers and or land enrolled in crop insurance last year.
So for grains and oilseeds, it was in around that 86% of what gets seeded in the province is covered by the crop insurance program.
Any update on the number of producers enrolled in the Canada Feed program?
I have that number, but just give me a moment to find it.
And while we're waiting here, I just wanted to open for general comments from, Neil was looking for general comments from representatives from various producer groups, whether in room or on phone. Perhaps we'll start in room.
Yeah, thanks very much. Ray Orb, Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities. I just had I had a question about communications, and I know that every organization, has to work really hard in communicating. And in your case, it would be with your clients at SCIC. Have you had issues? I know you're using Crop Connect, which is a really good thing, but are there other ways that communications can be improved? I know we do hear from time to time producers don't know exactly what's in the program or what the coverage is. Thank you.
Thanks, Ray. Yeah, and we're always looking at ways. Obviously, we have the regional offices and things like that. But I think, like we have Crop Connect, I think we're looking at things even to improve that. And as a matter of fact, I can tell you right now that crop insurance is undergoing a pretty major IT renewal, I guess would be the right. The program they have is obviously quite old. So we're looking at all options, a way we can improve the program for the customer at the end of the day through all of this that we're just starting to get evolved in right now. That's all I can say is we're at the early stages of that.
If I could, Ray, just on the specific communication, maybe there's a couple things that I would point to. And again, it was based on collaboration and feedback from industry last year about creating more awareness about how the livestock programs can work for producers. So we are taking a few different approaches this year. We have more specific livestock marketing tactics that will be in market right now. We hired some more program advisors, and one of their priorities is to get out and talk to livestock producers about the programs and the enhancements. We'll have a buyer's guide available that gives a little more detail about how the program works and how it can be tailored to your grazing system. So those are a few of the tactics that we changed this year in response to what we heard from stakeholders last year.
And just to add to that, Ray, if I can, I think it's important for especially the livestock sector to know that in July we had a good discussion about livestock price insurance at the national table. The Maritimes have now signed on to it, which is a significant acknowledgement. It really leaves Ontario and Quebec now. And Ontario has said they're ready to come on board. They just have to work out some details with the federal government. So once we get that, I'm really hopeful that the livestock price insurance will become a national program within the next few years. And I know we'll have a good discussion about that in July at the FPT meeting again. So we're hopeful about that. It's something the province of Saskatchewan led, and Alberta obviously came right to the table with us, and Manitoba as well. So we're hopeful that we can make this a national program.
I can go back to the Canada Saskatchewan Feed Program. We have just over 2,000 applicants as of yesterday.
And I see we have another question from the Western producer, from Robert Arnolson, for the minister. Are you concerned about the cost of crop insurance premiums to Saskatchewan taxpayers?
I mean, we look at the program and the cost to it. The producers are still picking up a good percentage of it at over 40% of the premium, and the federal government and the province are picking up the other 60, which the federal government is picking up a significant portion of that 60%. Obviously, it does come as a cost to the province, but we obviously feel that it's a very important program for the agriculture industry here in the province of Saskatchewan. The fund was very sustainable over the years. It had built up reserves, and hopefully we can see some better conditions over the growing season, and we can build those reserves back up again.
Great. So for any industry in room, if you'd like to comment on any of the announcements today, I invite you to do so.
Grant McClellan with the Saskatchewan Cattlemen's Association. I think what we see is the work that's been done by the groups in the room here, the Ministry of Agriculture, Crop Insurance, SARM and APAS. In particular, when our organization was hosting drought town halls across the southwest part of the province, we were supported by these groups, joined by these groups at these meetings, and I think you see in the announcements today, particularly in the improvements to the forage rainfall program, as well as the acknowledgement of including silage in the insurable groups here. There was a clear response, and I think listening to the concerns that came out of those meetings directly from our producers. So from our organization's perspective, we are pleased with these, to see these improvements, particularly on the livestock side, because certainly those were the concerns that came up at those meetings were around these programs. So we're pleased to see that those improvements have been made, and we look forward, frankly, to future improvements. We know that the pilot project with the forage rainfall program is happening this year as well, and so we're hopeful that we'll see continued improvements in these programs. But we're pleased with the announcement today.
Great. Were there any last comments for in room or on the phone from industry groups about today's announcements? No. Okay, so that would conclude the 2024 crop insurance announcement. Thank you for everybody who joined the call.
Thank you very much. That concludes today's conference. You may now disconnect.